Welcome to another episode of the GO Show. Joining me tonight is my kin, Matt Otten. Matt, say what's up.
How's it going?
And,
glad to be here.
We got a good episode tonight, so we're going to start off with a few things here that I'll explain in just a second. But later on, we're going to talk a little CHS boys and girls basketball, and then we're going to go into a little bit of SCOTUS basketball here in the last section, and then finally, at the end, we will do a little bit of CHS football trivia, which, both being alum, I think that is quite suitable. I got to say, I'm rocking the fish tie. For those of you who can't see, shout out to Fish Shank, grandfather Chris Shank, for supporting me with the tie tonight memory of him. So that's what we're rocking tonight. It's looking good, I think. Don't you think so?
I think it works.
I think it works. Nice. You're rocking a fancy tie as well with a little bit of that clip action in the middle.
Oh, yeah, that's a Salvation Army find right there.
They got good buys there. They got good buys.
Good buys.
All right, well, before we get started here, we got a new thing going on. So trivia question. This is not for us. This is for you at home, and it gives you a chance to win a $5 gift certificate to Jock Zone. So this is the GO Show Trivia Question of the Week brought to you by Jock Zone. Now, this is going to post on Facebook Thursday, roughly about 2 o'clock or so after the show finishes airing on News Channel Nebraska 48.1. So you get a chance to comment on there and answer the question and potentially win a fun little prize, and we'll get a hold of you after that. So for those of you who want to check out our friends over at Jock Zone Fan Cave, they got a sweet store over there. You can check that out. So here is the trivia question of the week. The most points scored in a game by a CHS men's basketball team is 103 versus Schuyler. In what year was that feat accomplished?
Ooh.
So that's a good one, I think. And you don't guess.
Yeah, don't want to.
The most points scored in a game by a CHS men's basketball team is 103 versus Schuyler. In what year was that accomplished? So you at home, get on Facebook tomorrow when you find the question pop up. Go ahead and answer, and we'll let quite a few of you answer before we reveal who the winner is. But the winner is going to get a $5 gift certificate over to Jock Zone Fan Cave. They got a lot of sweet stuff over there, and why not? More suiting than that. Got a little sports action going on. So there we go. All right, so now we are going to do players to watch. All right, and our players to watch this week, we're doing a little bit SCOTUS wrestling. Marcus Dotson and Alec Fultz, two monster wrestlers. I got to tell you what, they are extreme gentlemen as well. It was a pleasure getting to talk to those guys today after I went and checked them out at practice and got to watch and see what they're doing over there at SCOTUS. For the first time, they are wrestling at the National Guard. They've been wrestling in a cafeteria for the past couple of years in the program's very short history. So first, we're going to take a look at Alec Fultz. Alec Fultz had his 100th win a year ago on January 11th, so almost a year later. Today is pretty close. A couple more days and he'll have had his 100th win a year ago. Alex is currently 128-31. He has 195 takedowns, 80 falls, 81 escapes, 38 reversals, and has a staggering 645 team points. Alex is SCOTUS' first state champion. That was in 2015 at 145 pounds. Is a member of 2 state soccer championships in 2014 and 2015, and a member of the 2015 State Class C1 Football Championship. Now, another guy who is very well deserving of a kind of a player to watch, Marcus Dotson, also a football player, had his 100th win on December 14th back in 2014, 150th career win on December 11th back in 2015, and 100th pin or fall on 11/17/15. As of today, he's 157-18, 215 takedowns, 105 falls, 45 escapes, 37 reversals. Marcus is a 3-time state semifinalist. He placed 6th at 145 in 2013, 2nd at 152 in 2014, and placed 4th in 2015. All-State linebacker, National Honor Society member, All-State academic in wrestling, 2013, 2014, 2015. As a member of 2 state soccer championships in 2014 and 2015, and a member of the 2015 State Class C1 Football Championship team. If you remember him, Jake Boss, also another wrestler. Those two exchanged duties at running back, and Dotson and filled in quite. He's kind of the second guy to come in and filled in gloriously at times. Did a wonderful job, but an even more impressive wrestler, and just the level of talent they have at SCOTUS right now is very fun to watch. We're CHS alum, but it's truly fun just to see a lot of good athletics going on over at SCOTUS right now.
I think as a team we're going to be looking pretty good throughout the state tournament. Got a lot of kids that can get a lot of wins, a lot of pins. I want to go through the season undefeated. I want to win state, and I want to set the pin record really high. I already hold it, and I just want to crank it up so no one can touch it.
My weight class this year is pretty deep. A lot of returning state medalists and stuff, but I wrestle with Marcus and Jake about every day, and they're definitely good. Marcus has placed at state a lot, and Jake is really fast and physical, so it's good to practice with them. They get me ready.
Oh yeah, that's quite the pedigree you just read off there. That's pretty impressive.
It's a lot.
I didn't realize they had that much talent.
And I was talking to Coach Dotson. They've been practicing in a cafeteria at SCOTUS for the past couple of years for the short history of the program has been around, and they had like we rolled those mats out. They had about 3 strips wide, and so they were just kind of wrestling. It was just no room for anything, pillars in the middle everywhere. Now they're out at the National Guard Armory out on the east side of town, which a lot of people probably don't know about. It's just you get over by that Tractor Supply Company, head north, and it's about 3/4 miles down that way. But really cool building and a great program right now for how short. Well, at least the short time that they've been around.
Well, I think it's a testament to Coach Dotson, too, because he coached at Columbus High while I was there, and they had a really, really good program while he was there. So, obviously, as his son, Marcus, he really knows how to build up really good wrestlers. So.
Well, they do a great job there, and he absolutely does a great job, too. Very exciting coach. He's very excited to work with the players, loves wrestling, and so it's just fun to watch, and go check that out. So Alec Foltz and Marcus Dotson, you need to make sure you stay with these guys. They are definitely going to be around when we get into postseason wrestling and get to those state finals. I would imagine there's a pretty good shot that we're going to see those two very late on, if not in the championship round. There is a good shot we're going to see them. Well, we're going to talk a little bit of CHS basketball here in a little bit. And I'm excited, but we're going to take a break real quick. I'm Grant Otten. This is Matt Otten. Matt, hit him with the Instagram.
Oh, it's getting Otten here.
It's getting Otten here. I'll put that on the screen as well. It's getting Otten here. You can hit me up on Twitter, Instagram as well. C&T Grant Otten. I'll put the Instagram down on the bottom of the screen. You can check us out. We're here on News Channel Nebraska 48.1 in Columbus News Team. We'll be back in a little bit.
Of life, there are lines between where we work and where we play. But when we cross that line, it's when we become connected to our community. At Columbus Community Hospital, neighbors take care of neighbors. With years of experience and training, caring for everyone, young and old, day or night, the expertise to handle the simple and complex, and provide personalized care in your own backyard. It connects us. Columbus Community Hospital, specializing in you.
Hi, I'm Dee Hansen. I'm the Marketing Director, and we would like to introduce you to Bank of the Valley.
Community-minded, family-centered, measurable relationships. When it comes to your business, agriculture, and personal banking needs, trust Bank of the Valley.
We're obviously a locally owned bank, but we're also a bank that's very involved.
The most important thing is when you walk in the front door, everybody knows your first name. We are small town banking with all the modern conveniences.
Bank of the Valley in Bellwood, David City, Platte Center, and their brand new location in Columbus.
Ever wonder where those mysterious spots and stains come from? Call your local Heaven's Best carpet and upholstery cleaning technician. You can enjoy life, and we'll clean it up.
Heaven's Best Carpet Cleaning, the cleanest carpet you'll ever see.
Heaven's Best. You've tried the rest, now try the best. Call George at 402-564-9060 or on the web at columbusne.heavensbest.com.
Welcome back to the GEO Show. I'm Grant Otten, and joining me tonight is Matt Otten, my, if you don't know, brother, and also our GEO Show golf analyst, which is an easy pull. You're a good golfer, and so it's easy for me to pull you into the spot.
Yeah, I think that's just kind of the perks of the job. I don't know if I'm any better qualified than anybody else to be a golf analyst, but
that's all right.
Your blood, so.
Your blood comes first, is what they're supposed to say. So that's all right. Hey, well, we got to watch a little CHS basketball action. We're heading out to Fremont here on Friday to go watch some Fremont. Fremont, very good. CHS is going to have a tough time, especially the boys competing with Fremont. They're going to have to do a lot of things right if they want to win that game. Fremont is by all means clicking on all cylinders and is a very serious team. And asking Coach Moats about it and what they think going into the game, he just said those guys are for real. So we'll see how it turns out. They're going to need to play some pretty good basketball if they want it to be a good game. But just starting with, we'll get to the girls here in a little bit too, but starting with the boys, Mitchell Greiner last night, heck of a performance. 32 points, dropped I don't know how many threes, I don't know how many twos he made in the lane. What was your initial reaction? Just, you're working camera with us. What was kind of your thoughts as you were watching those 32 points unfold?
Well, he quietly scored 20 in the first half. You didn't really notice, and I was kind of blown away by that. And then he had a little streak in the third quarter where he went like dribble drive and one three-pointer, and
he was hot in I think 11. I don't have the shot chart in front of me. 11 to 13 points. I know he definitely had 11. Might have pulled an extra layup in there towards the end, but he very hot obviously there in the third quarter as well.
Oh yeah, it was unbelievable. It was almost. I did some work with him, fundamental stuff with Jack Johnson back when I was in high school, and I think the reason why he's so good is it's just natural because he drills all the time, mornings before school and all that, and so you could tell when he had the ball in his hands. It was just natural.
So you're saying the work ethic's there?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
When you're looking at someone like that, and you look at the troubles they're facing right now, so you got Obergaut with a broken hand, lifting accident, and then you got Cook, a sophomore, in there. You got Pike was the other sophomore. Andy Pike was the other sophomore that got in there, as well as Jazz Ackerson, and his older brother Kobe's a senior. Kobe, and once again, Kobe, maybe one of the best transformations I've seen out of a player in a while from year to year. Last year did not get very much play time. His younger brother Jazz was getting more play time than he was as far as varsity points. Kobe went into the offseason and did some absolute work and transformed his body, transformed his game. Good three-point shooter, very athletic, and he had that in him for a while. He just needed to go in and do that in the offseason. I mean, we've known the Ackersons for a while, so did you kind of notice that change as well?
Oh, yeah. I was really impressed with the sophomores as a group last night. I think Coach Moats said there was 3 sophomores playing for almost the entirety of the second half.
Yeah, and you look at Greiner, too, a junior.
Yeah, it's just the question is when they play against a team like Fremont, when they're really solid defensively, how they're going to perform under pressure. Because Blair's defense wasn't as strong as Fremont's is going to be. So it'll be interesting to see.
There was very little defense in the game last night for the boys. And CHS is lucky that someone like Greiner stepped up and scored those 32 points because that's what helped them propel them to their victory because you had Wolfs and a couple other guys for Blair that were coming out. Kieran is another one I can think of right off the top of my head that were doing some things and scoring some big points. Jorgensen and Sorensen were the other two as well. Jorgensen had, I believe, 24 points or something like that, so he really went off in the second half. And without Greiner's 32 points, they probably lose that game. Now they went up 25 to 10 in the first quarter.
Yeah.
And then just kind of soared in the finish. They had some good defense in the first quarter. Blair was kind of missing some shots, and it carried over. Thankfully for Columbus, they were able to get the win. Someone like Michael Cook, going to be a huge leader moving forward. Him and Greiner, and then I don't know. You got to be excited that you got Jazz Ackerson and Andy Pike, some guys that are getting in there, getting some experience.
Yeah, I think Pike scored 8 points in the first quarter alone. But they came out in the third quarter, and Blair kind of whittled their lead down to 5, I think. And it got kind of scary, and that's when you saw Cook and Greiner just kind of take the reins. And all of a sudden the lead was back to 15, and then they just kind of, stayed steady there to the end of the game. So I was really impressed. You being a basketball player, you've been in those positions where you're up and you're winning, you have control, and then all of a sudden, your momentum's gone. You're only up by a few points. Coach Moats had to be breathing a sigh of relief when Greiner and Cook kind of took over there in the third quarter.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure he was just as excited to watch it. I'm sure he wasn't quite as probably not quite as excited because you can't really get into a comfort zone as a coach when the game's that close and they're coming back. And Blair was doing some good things. Now, after they came in within a single-digit deficit, then they brought things back to about 12. Columbus did, and then it never really got back beyond that anymore within that fourth quarter after a certain extent. So towards down the end, it wasn't too crazy. It was a pretty comfortable win for Columbus once you got into those last couple of minutes. But Cook, he didn't start scoring early. He started scoring late, but he has that ability. You saw some of the things he could do up by the basket, and
really
it's just incredible.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed with him. And Columbus made free throws down the stretch, and they didn't take. They took a lot better shots than Blair did in the second half, is what I noticed. Blair took a lot of pretty wild, deep threes in the second half, and Columbus worked the ball around. They got layups. They got good three-point looks. So it was a good win. I think that's what they needed going into somebody like Fremont.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of confidence.
Well, here's something I want to pose to. And so Wrinkle is the other one that's out. Wrinkle's out with what we believe to be a knee injury. Now, not a bad knee injury, more of a precautionary. The reason that he's sitting out so he doesn't really injure himself. He's out the Blair game. Potentially he's sitting out the Fremont game with the way Griner played and the way Pike and Ackerson played. Jazz didn't score a bunch of points, but he showed that obviously he's shown over time that he has the ability to compete and play.
Handle varsity minutes.
He can handle varsity minutes, absolutely. My question. And this is something I was kind of thinking of. Do you think, now we haven't had a chance to watch Griner throughout the entire season. We're busy doing other games as well. Do you think the fact that Dallas, Oberg, and Wrinkle getting injured and going out and forcing Griner to step up was potentially, now you don't want anyone to get hurt. It really stinks for Oberg. Oberg, incredible athlete, is going to have to sit out for, I believe, about 6 weeks now, which is truly unfortunate because he had a good career ahead of him, as far as good season ahead of him. But do you think that maybe is going to propel Griner to better success now that he has been forced to step up in a game and produce those big points?
Well, I definitely think so. I think watching him, you could tell out there he was definitely kind of the general out on the court. I mean, he brought the ball up the court, and I think 4 or 5 possessions in a row, nobody touched it. Mm-hmm. Not to say he's being a ball hog, but he scored every possession. So I think for him, I was impressed with how instead of looking like he was pressured, he looked comfortable under pressure, and he just was like, well, I gotta score, and he scored a lot. And so I think it'll be good. It'll be interesting to see how he leads when they're not winning by 10 or 12 points.
Very nice kid too. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I'll be interested to see that as well. It'll be curious to see how he responds to situations like that. And as a junior, I kind of mentioned this in the broadcast. When you're looking at the transformation from a sophomore to a junior and a junior to senior, there's a lot that goes on for a basketball player as far as composure, not just skill, but as far as composure and your ability to respond to deficits and how you see the court. So I think he's got a bright. I hope he takes this and is able to build on it because it was fun to watch him compete the other night.
Oh, absolutely! I was glad I got to work camera. I just happened to be there shooting the game, and I got to witness probably one of the best single scoring efforts you'll ever see in Columbus High basketball. So
and the one I always think back to is Brian Clary putting up 42 against Benson in an away game. That's back when I was playing, and it was blessed to play with him back junior year when I was in high school. The record's 44, and so not far off. Yeah, when you think about it, he's a couple more of those big buckets away from getting up there. And it would have taken a couple extra minutes in a bigger fourth quarter. He didn't produce a ton in the fourth.
I think a closer ball game might have lent itself to scoring a little more. He kind of let off the gas a little bit after the third quarter.
I think he was about 3, maybe 1, potentially 3 points in that fourth quarter. So, no, you're right. He definitely let off a little bit, and Cook helped take over there as well. All right, we got to take a break real quick. We'll be back. We're going to talk a little CHS girls basketball. We're going to try to touch on SCOTUS basketball as well if we got the time, and then as well if time bids us. Plenty. We're going to get into a little bit of CHS trivia. Nothing too crazy, but kind of looking at some older records and a little football action. So we'll be right back. News Channel Nebraska 40. I got the peanut butter in my mouth again. It's happening.
Can't stop eating peanut butter.
I can't stop it. News Channel Nebraska 48.1. I'm Grant Otten. This is Matt Otten. You're getting the brother blood tonight. So we'll be right back after this.
Would you like to watch this game from above the crowd? When it comes to finding you a new home, the team at Total Realty have a game plan that'll put you above the crowd. Whether you're buying or selling, they will answer your questions and provide an expert offense to put you in the lead during the whole process. The Total Realty team members are real people living in your same community. They have the same concerns as you do, and one might just live in your own neighborhood. Your RE/MAX team members are the hometown experts with the world of experience. They don't just want to sell you homes, they want to make you happy. At Total Realty today, log on to ColumbusTotalRealty.com or see their full list of homes from the Columbus app, available on iPhone and Android devices.
In many aspects of life, there are lines between where we work and where we play. But when we cross that line, it's when we become connected to our community. At Columbus Community Hospital, neighbors take care of neighbors. With years of experience and training, caring for everyone, young and old, day or night, the expertise to handle the simple and complex, and provide personalized care in your own backyard. It connects us. Columbus Community Hospital, specializing in you.
Hi, I'm Dee Hansen. I'm the Marketing Director, and we would like to introduce you to Bank of the Valley.
Community-minded, family-centered, measurable relationships. When it comes to your business, agriculture, and personal banking needs, trust Bank of the Valley.
We're obviously a locally owned bank, but we're also a bank that's very involved.
The most important thing is when you walk in the front door, everybody knows your first name. We are small town banking with all the modern conveniences.
Bank of the Valley in Bellwood, David City, Platte Center, and their brand new location in Columbus.
Welcome back to the Geo Show here on News Channel Nebraska 48.1 in Columbus. News team joining me is Matt Otten. Matt, say what's up.
How's it going?
And we talked a little boys basketball, CHS boys basketball. We've talked players to watch. We've done a little trivia. Be sure to check out that trivia brought to you by Jock Zone Fan Cave. Won a little gift certificate. Right now, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up the fact that Caitlin Ezzards, we mentioned a little bit earlier, drilled 7 3-pointers on her way to, I believe, about 25 points against Blair Tuesday evening, which ties Amanda Wint for the all-time single-game record at CHS for 7 3-pointers in a game is the current record. So she's now got her name on the board, or whenever they decide to make the plaque. So my question to you, what is potentially... And outside of Mitchell Griner's effort last night, what is one of the best scoring performances or offensive efforts you've seen in your playing days in basketball? Is there one that comes to mind?
For Columbus High or for another team?
Either. For you. Potentially for Columbus High,
I don't know if there's a scoring effort. We weren't really that good when I played, but I remember a game where I think Jake Eck and Nate Eck, two brothers that I played with, had probably 30 points combined and like 20-some assists.
Oh, wow.
And so not really much scoring. We didn't score very much when I was there, but I think that was probably the most impressive. I think it was against Millard North my senior year. Can't really think of anything. Watching you, Brian Clary,
yeah,
40,
that's kind of mine. That 42
that
against Benson is probably the biggest, and I already brought that up, I know, but that 42 against Benson, it was one of those deals where he was just hitting 3-pointer after 3-pointer. Brian Clary, is it just in case for any of you dedicated listeners for future trivia questions, you might be able to pull this one out. Brian Clary holds the career 3-point record and single season 3-point record. The single season one's at like 70-something, and in the career, obviously a lot higher than that. But that 42 points against Benson in the away game, that was an unreal thing to witness. And so I don't know, 7 3-pointers. That's a heck of a night.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot of trays.
I made 2. I think
that's the most in the game.
Yeah.
I was not allowed to shoot the varsity level 3-pointers. Hey. So I tell you what,
You'll never know.
I was second in the state for about 3/4 of the year for shooting percentage from 2-point range, and so I was taking that to the grave.
I went 2 for 2 in my first 3 weeks of varsity basketball. I led 3-point percentage in the state because I took 2 and I made 2.
There you go. It's all about selection. You can feel the 3-pointers. You can feel.
I don't think they were good shot selection.
But was it the feel there though?
Oh, absolutely.
That's what I'm saying.
You did it. You're just ready to.
You know what it's at. Griner hit a couple of those last night where he dished one off the back of the rim, and then he sat there.
Didn't really look like he was open, but you saw it looking inside.
He said, "Give it to me." Boom, and it was a swish. So that was a fun game to watch.
Oh, it just never ended. Kept making and making and making.
I want to briefly talk again too as well about SCOTUS basketball. Mm-hmm. This will be short too, but who out of the couple games we've had to watch, who do you think is maybe out of this whole talented team? It's just an amoeba of talented players that when you watch them, they just continually flow together, and it's just good basketball. You know, they know where each other's at. They're passing off. You know, and they can just sense each other, and it's hard to stop because they got a lot of athletes.
They're very impressive.
Who do you think is maybe? If you have to, or I'm gonna make you have to pick one of these. Now you could pick any of them, obviously, but who is maybe the most exciting player on that team so far this season? Do you think?
Well, I want to say Maracek, just because of those dunks, but I think Ostek, is that his name?
Ostek,
the point guard.
Nathan.
I think he is the most explosive, most fun. Just the way that he runs when they run the ball down the court, the passes that he makes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I saw him make a couple like half court bounce passes, no looks. I think he's the most exciting, just because it's like watching an NBA point guard out there, the way that he moves and passes and dishes it. So
now we're going to do some quick trivia.
Ooh, all right.
We're about done. The show's about over here. Thank you again for tuning in. News Channel Nebraska 48.1 Columbus News Team. And be sure to check out that Jock Zone Fan Cave Trivia of the Week. All right. So my trivia question for you, we'll do two of them. The first one I want to do because you know the answer. I'm not sure that you know the answer, though.
All right.
So, who is the current record holder at Columbus High for kickoff return yards with 137 in one game?
I'm going to go with...
This is somebody you played with at one point, both of us.
That I played with.
We both played with this person.
Ooh, I was going to say Linder, but it's not Linder. It's the older Linder.
You were going to say Tony?
Oh, goodness gracious.
You're going to kick yourself when I tell you the answer to this one.
I'm going to have to go with, goodness, I don't know, Dylan Lawson.
Yeah.
Dylan Lawson.
Good guess.
All
yeah,
right,
that was good. Hey.
Well, when all else fails,
Dylan Lawson is the way to go. And we played with both of us, so he's good.
That's the only reason why I got it, because he said that. I would have said Linder.
Yeah, Tony Linder, a very good punt returner as well. Tony Linder actually holds some other records for interceptions and that kind of deal. All right, so now in the same vein, this will be our last one. Lee Jennings set the record for punt return yards in a single game in 1999. How many? I'll give you a 5-yard leeway
on either side.
Either side. How many yards did he have in that game?
I'm going to go with 174.
Oh gosh, no, that's way too high. 114.
Okay, well,
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
The record stood since 99. I mean, I watched Dylan Lawson return punts in high school, so I thought,
he had the kick return record though.
Wow,
that's how he had some of that too. That's all right though. That's a couple of big punt returns though.
Well,
either
over 100
way,
yards.
Yeah, it's impressive. All right. Well, Matt, any parting words for our viewers?
Oh, just keep it classy.
Stay classy.
Stay classy.
Is that this will be the last time you join us, maybe for a little while?
Yeah, not playing. I'm done. My golf career's over, so I might be able to come back and guest star, co-host.
Right, we're doing some remote location stuff, so hopefully you can come out and hang out and visit for one of those and sit in the show. And obviously, always fun to have you. So, is the short run, 3-episode run, been fun at least?
Oh, it's been great. I mean, my on-air persona is starting to develop.
A little bit better?
Really, yeah.
You moved up a chair tonight, too.
I did. I'm right across from you now.
Yeah, so we can have actual conversation.
There you go.
Hey, and I'm Grant Otten as well. Thank you for tuning in to the GO Show here on News Channel Nebraska and Columbus News Team. News Channel Nebraska 48.1. For anything sports in the Platte Valley and the surrounding area, you need to make sure to tune in to Columbus News Team online or News Channel Nebraska and watch Brandon give you the sports report live every day, all day. And it's just good action. If you're in the Norfolk area as well, 35.1. And you can check out Eric McKay and the guys up there as they give you the full details. I'm Grant Otten. Thanks again for tuning into the GO Show here on News Channel Nebraska. We'll see you next time.